It was, right? It was a nice neck crack.
Yeah, it was.
Welcome back to the goddamn podcast. We're in the goddamn room, season 2, with the one and only hashtag and still reigning defending UNF flyweight champion, fresh off a title defense, going into another one on March 8th, showing us that he's the real deal, the true guy that's that top champion that we deserve. Gianni Kriptonita Vazquez in the goddamn room, brother. Thank you for coming back.
No, thank you guys for inviting me. Like it's always a pleasure to be with you guys. Like I really enjoyed the time we had last time. It was a nice talk, and then it's always good to be back, and then you know like I guess talk about like new things, and then like just make sure we keep doing the same thing. Last time we talked, I was about to defend the title, and I told you I was about to dominate and then keep my belt under my belly. So it's not gonna be different this time. Like I have a fight coming up, and it's gonna be the same. I'm gonna be on steel, and I'm gonna keep the belt under my belly.
So we're talking about that last fight, man. What's it like to be the reigning defending UNF flyweight champion right now in your life? How's that been?
It feels good, like I'm like the first champion of the company. I take the belt as a first champion in the company of flyweight. We took the belt, and then I just told I'm gonna keep holding that belt until like the next step of my career. Which I believe is gonna be soon after this fight. I'm gonna make another statement. I'm gonna try to finish the fight and then just prove that I'm ready for the next show.
Yeah, we're ready for that too. But looking back at your year, what stands out to you the most in your journey this year in 2024 when you were going through that whole year just destroying people and staying on top and staying champion? Can you look back at 2024 and tell us, was there this one moment that you were like, yeah, this is it. This is where I'm showing off where I really got.
I would say when I got the first fight title defense against Trevor Wells back in March. I think it was a good test because I was excited about to fight that guy. He was like a really really legit guy. He was coming off like the Ultimate Fighting and Team Conor McGregor. He did a really good fights up there, and then he proved that he was like like a top dog. And then also, like he was fighting up there at 135. Even if he was a 20 fighter, he went up to 35 to do the Ultimate Fighting, and then he did really well. So, when I got that name on the contract, so I was like, okay, now it's time to prove. They I can compete against those guys. Not only compete, I can like dominate them. It was a good test that first fight, and then after I got that W, I knew I was in another level, and I'm just was ready to like the next name. Whoever wants to come and then like get some taste of the champ. I was like, I'm just here waiting for you guys.
Shit, nuestro campeón pelea y no tiene miedo. So that's what
Exactly.
the fuck we're talking about. But your last defense, brother, I watched that fight. You dominated from the very first round all the way through. There were a couple of pictures that I love. Somebody took of you hitting him from behind and like you had his back, and you can see him like having no answer. What was the game plan when you got into the fight? Did you execute that exactly as it was, or did you make any changes in the middle of the fight? Did anything change?
Like the game plan is as always, go out there, like put on the show, like beat the shit out of these guys wherever the fight goes, and then get the double check, and after that go celebrate with the homies, fam, and then with everybody that support me, go get some good like food, and then that's it. Like going up inside the cage, like it's easy, because during the camp, we do all the work that we have to put into it, and then so when it's time for me to show up, then I just go and then I just do what we've been putting into the work. And then for sure, like I have to be really good at listening to my corner, that's why I have them. So like it's more like a for me it's more like fight night is just about like concentrate, about what I've been done during camp, feeling confidence of like my work through the fight camp, and then as soon as we step in the cage, I'm just like completely focused on like whatever the corner asks for, I will go for. It's like and it's not like a secret that like I never tried to wrestle really. Like even if I can wrestle, I can do jiu-jitsu. It's like I never go for those type of things. I'm a Mexican, puro estilo mexicano. I like to go forward. I like to go in the exchange, stay in the pocket. But it was funny because in the backstage, my coach Colin Oyama is like, "Okay, Gianni, tonight, please don't bring the Mexican. I want you to take this guy down in the first minute, under a minute, go take him down." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's not gonna happen. If I go for a takedown, it's gonna be a little bit later because like I want to get a taste, about like he was a professional Muay Thai fighter, bare knuckle fighter. So I'm like, okay, so I guess he's down to scrap. Let's see who goes down first." and I was trying to get some taste, but like the corner started like yelling at me, Yanni, go for a takedown, go for a takedown. So I was like, okay, I gotta listen to my corner, because like if I don't listen to them between the rounds, then I gonna go walk to my corner and then like start getting yelled by them. My coach is gonna start yelling at me, and then like literally I get more nervous about my coach than like my opponent. I was like, okay, I gotta listen to my coach, and that's
Yeah,
what we did.
we don't want to piss off Colin Oyama ever. We
That's
want Coach Oyama to be happy because that is a dangerous
fact.
dude. So you go into the fight, you do exactly what the corner asked for, you do it all right. Was there a difference in your mind from when you won the title as and chasing it, and then now being the champion and defending it? Do you have like that switch that you change the way you see it, or do you still gun ho? I want to destroy everyone. I want to continue to fight like I'm chasing the belt.
It's not like anything different about like when I get the contract to fight, it's not like extra pressure that like, oh, like, like I'm the champion or like something. Uh it's just like, for me it's more about like, okay, I'm the champ, so I just gotta prove it why I'm the champ, and I just gotta show to everybody that like, I'm a champion for a reason. And what's the reason? I'm just above these guys. It's like everybody says is levels in this game, and then like I'm above these guys in those levels. So like I just trying to prove it. Every single time I step in the cage.
I feel you on that one. By the way, what does the champion drink after he wins the title? You said you go out with the family, you have good food, you got some good drinks. Are you a Modelo guy? Are we more Heineken, Corona? Like, what's the drink of choice when you win the fight?
Look, am I gonna disappoint you in that? But right away, I like to go for some In and Out, and I get some milkshake. I always get some milkshake, vanilla. I ask vanilla milkshake, and I go to the like soda machine, low key, like, and then I put some like root beer flow or like some Coke, on it. But then for sure after that, I always get a shot of tequila. I love tequila. I'm a Mexican, and then like tequila is my drink. I take a beer if someone invite me a beer. I never say no to a drink. But everybody after the fight, if they ask me, "Hey, Yanni, what do you want to drink, or what do you want to like?" I'm gonna go get some drinks. What do you want? I'm like, okay, give me a tequila. If they have Don Julio, give me some Don Julio.
So we know the champion likes Don Julio and In and Out Burger Shakes. So if you want
Yes,
to get him something after the fight,
give me a second.
you got it, brother. Shit, he got the big bottle.
The Don Julio right there. So
I'm
yeah,
intimidated, brother. I can't drink like that. But I respect that you have your drink of choice, and you're like me. You sneak to the soda machine while nobody's looking.
yeah. I mean, to be honest, at that point after the fight, I don't care if they're looking at me, bro. Like, hey, my brother, he just fought. I'm the champion, so like, what are you gonna tell to me that like don't put like soda on my milkshake, brother? Like, do you see this belt? If you tell me something after the fight, I'm just gonna like do whatever I want. I feel empowered. Like I feel like after winning my belt, defending it, like I can do whatever I want. So like, if someone tried to tell me to don't put soda on my milkshake, then bro, fuck them.
He said, "Don't ruin my float."
Like, bro, come on.
That's fucking hilarious. All right, off the food and onto the dominance, brother. You're the number one ranked flyweight in California. How does that like influence your career goals when you look at it, or how does it influence you? Like, do you see that and go, okay, so I know where I'm at and I know where I want to go, or does it kind of like, that's cool, but I already knew that a long time ago.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, like before, I would say like the numbers always is like it's kind of like it's kind of cool to like know or have that like number under you, and then like like, oh, like I'm the number one. But I would say this right now, like the number sometimes doesn't matter, because like, brother, like I can offer the title to the number two or the number three, and then sometimes they don't even want to take it. Like I've been there, like where I was in Texas, and then and then I was the number three on Texas as a flyweight, and then I call out the number two in that time, like three, 4 times, and they didn't want to take the fight against me. So it's like, bro, what's the point to have a number if you don't want to like like go for like the next one, or like if they believe like right now for me, I'm the champion, so I believe that I can beat everybody. Like whoever doesn't believe that can come get some. Come here and get some, and I will show you why I'm the champion. Everybody thinks that like, oh, I have this Gianni figured it out or something like that. Yeah, you can watch whatever you can watch, and you can believe whatever you can believe. But like at the end of the day, when the cage closed, like it's only gonna be you and me, and I will prove it that why I'm the champion. It's the same with the numbers. Like the numbers doesn't really matter to me too much, because like you can have your number in your back, but like if you're not down to put that number in the line with me, then like it doesn't matter, you know. Like you see those things in the UFC too, like sometimes like the guy that gets the title shot is like the number 5 over the number 2 or something like that. But like at the end of the day, I'm here to fight with whoever. I'm here to fight with everybody. To be honest, the longer I get paid and they show up, I'm here to fight everybody. You know, my job is like be a fighter. I'm a full time fighter. Whoever wants to come get some, like we can talk about numbers. And when I say numbers, money, and then like we can make it happen. But like if you try to bring some challenge and then like the money doesn't come, so doesn't like match like what we're looking for, so like it's no point, to be honest. This is a business too, and then like I'm trying to take care of my business, which is myself. So that's pretty much for me. Numbers
My
doesn't matter.
man, my man Gianni's not a businessman. He's a businessman. You know what I'm saying? Old school Jay Z lingo right there is saying some shit that is true. This is a business, and I'm happy you say that because a lot of guys are like, I do this because I love to do it. And I'm like, well, you also get paid to do it. So you should definitely be happy about your paycheck.
I
Like,
love to fight. I really love to fight. And like that's why I do this, because I love to fight. But guess what? I love the money comes with the win. Like my brother, like this is a rough sport. And this is the only sport where like you lose, you get paid half. Like so doesn't matter how much I love to fight. I love to get 2 checks every single night. So like, and then if I can get a bonus, it's even better. So like the champ eats, the champ dress, the champ wears some shoes, nice shoes and stuff like that. So like, how I'm gonna buy those things. It's like, back home in Mexico, I remember when I started, the sport is different up there, and I'm talking about like 10 years ago. It was sad because like, like I remember like I see so many fighters like in the local scene. They were the champions of companies like of Muay Thai or stuff like that. They didn't even have money to to get a car. They have to like always walk, get on the bike and something like that. And you're like, bro, you're like a world champion in like Muay Thai, and then like you can even like you don't even have a car. Like, so what's the point to have a nice ass belt and then be a champion if like money doesn't come with, you know? It's sad, but like I'm not trying to live that life. I'm here to like make some money. Like I say, like that's why I'm ready for the next step. We go to the next show, and then I'm trying to make a living out of this, because like everybody knows how it is in the small shows. You get paid. I get treated really well by my company right now. They treat me really well. They take care of me and everything. But like we're talking about like buying a house. Like other type of money. And that comes with fighting.
that's part of the game. Speaking of the next level,
Yes,
you
sir.
were you were being talked about as a top prospect for the UFC. I know that recently you've been helping. Is Ricky Simone your teammate? I believe that's going to be competing soon. You've been helping him out with his next match, which I think is end of February.
Yeah, February 22nd, be up there. I'm gonna be there in the corner. Been blessed with Ricky, though. Like he's such a good teammate for me and example, And then in his last, I believe it's gonna be the fourth time I'm in his corner. He always one of my main partners, and then he took me as one of the main partners for his camp, and then like it's really like a bless having a guy like that to trust you. Like I know people might don't think he's as good because we're having like some like lows in his career right now. But like I would say this: don't sleep on Ricky, because like don't forget that he is the one that put out like Merab in his UFC debut. So like Merab looks like a monster right now, and then Ricky took like the short notice fight in his debut, UFC debut, and he is the one that put him out. So like my boy is like gonna go back to the winning streak in February 22nd, and I will be more than happy to be there in his corner to like celebrate with him.
Hell yeah, we're going to see Ricky win for sure. It's been on, he's had a few losses, but again, like you said, that's part of the game too. Something that I don't like is that boxing, the way that people in boxing are, they're trying to put that same mentality into MMA fans, and it's like a loss in the sport of MMA does not define your career. You could lose 100 times, but if you go out there, you give us a show, you put your heart and soul into it. That's really
Yeah,
what MMA fans love. We don't give
you
a
don't
fuck about the win loss stuff. We want to
fight,
see guys go
fight.
for it.
You look at right now, like Izzy Adesanya, Israel Adesanya, he just lost. He just lost, and then like man, just because he lost today doesn't mean that he's not the legend that he is. Like he stepped in the UFC 20 months, did so many fights, and then like he became a champion and dominate for a little bit, bro. Like this sport, the evolution of the MMA is so crazy that every 6 months, like it's something new, it's something that like you have to learn, and then like if you don't keep it up, then you're gonna like stay behind, and then that's why like it's such a rough sport, like because like you gotta like be every day at the gym. You can like day you miss practice is the day like you might like gonna like regret later on. For me personally, I'm not the type of guy that like if I don't have a fight camp, I'm not gonna be at the gym. Fight camp or no fight camp, I'm always at the gym. I'm always trying to learn. As soon as I pass like my last fight, I did my last fight. I didn't get any damage like at all, like any damage at all, brother. Any. I didn't get punched once in the face in my last fight. So Monday I was back to training. Back to training on Monday. I was like, why am I gonna rest? I don't need to rest. Like it's no point for me to rest. Like we didn't get any damage, so like we don't need to rest. And then I just feel like people sometimes like they don't get that. They just like if they have a fight coming up, they're at the gym. If they don't have a fight coming up, they're not at the gym. And that's what makes the difference, between those guys and then me. That's what makes me the champ that I am. That's what it makes me like be so dominant, because like while they're like resting, taking the time off, taking a break, like I'm here grinding, dog. I'm here like working my ass off. I'm here trying to improve my game, trying to learn. Even if I get injury, I show up to the gym and then like I can work on so many things. If I have like a hand injury, if I have a finger injury, like a leg or something, there's so many things that I can work. I don't need to just like one hand all the time. So that's why we are who we are right now, and that's how we perform the way we do, and then we keep the belt under my belly, and then it's gonna stay the same. It's gonna stay the same.
Shit, that's how we know the champ is working hard. He's the hardest working guy in the room right now. So we talked about last time when you were on the show. It was right before Noche UFC. We obviously missed a rematch that I think could have been monumental between you and Edgar Chairez. Do you still think that fight could materialize down the road?
For sure, for sure. Like if I get to the big show, like that's probably like the more interesting fight. That like I can be on it, and then like it's just like, man, I would say this: you can watch the fight a million times. I make a mistake. The good thing about like myself is that I recognize my mistake, and I'm not gonna do it again. You know, and then but I would say this: I'm always down to fight other people that is not Mexican. Because I want to see all my people like on the top, but that's the only fight that I would like to fight, because it's like some history, like it's some things that is being said that like it wasn't like a good things to say, that like it make it more personal for me now. And then of course the money we can make doing that fight, it's a lot. So I would have told you right now, if I go to the UFC tomorrow, for sure that's not gonna be my first fight to go for. That's gonna be like the number four for fifth, where we can ask for good money, because it's a history, like it's like a lot of people knew about what happened in our first fight and stuff like that. So like I say, I'm a businessman though, and then like if I'm gonna do a rematch like that with a history that it was, I'm gonna work so hard, and I'm gonna like it's gonna be so like easy to sell that fight that like we have to make some money. If it's not like a big money involved, it's like I'm not like really interested. I like to see new faces.
Yeah, I can see that that's something that we want to do more of, especially with the history between you two. There is bad blood between the two of you. The words that were exchanged were pretty brutal. So that's definitely going to be something that you can play off of. And then just like Chelson always says, is there a story there, and how do we make it interesting? That's how you draw money. That's how you make a living in the sport. You got to be able to tell a good story. You got to be able to put a bad guy and a good guy in the same place at the same time, under the same roof, and you let them fight, and we find out who's who. For me, I think seeing you compete the way you compete, and especially the last fight, how does it feel seeing Pantoja as the number one flyweight in the world? Like, I mean, he is dominating and everything, but
I
when
think
you
I can.
look at him, do you see a guy you can beat?
I think, to be honest, I think the best moment for me to be. I think right now I'm at the best moment of my career, and like I feel like I possess all the skills to like compete against those guys. Like I love Pantoja. Like his game is really good. He's really good at what he does, and then but he's been exposed a little bit in his last few fights. And I will tell you this right now, like I'm a smart guy. Like I'm the same. Pantoja can get hit, I can get hit. I have a good chin. Pantoja hits hard, I hit hard. Pantoja has good jiu-jitsu. My jiu-jitsu is good. I can wrestle. Before he had like I really know he's really good at taking the bag, and then as soon as he gets to your bag, you have to like really worry about like what he does. I was able to like help my teammate Alex Perez when he fought against Pantoja. So like I really studied Pantoja to try to emulate his game. I was literally doing exactly the same things he does. I was going for the takedown to force people give me the bag and jump to the back like a backpack. So I study the guy and I know his strengths and his weakness, and then I just think that like for in this if we do a stand up fight, I will play with him. I think I will play with him, and I can tell you that confident right now because like he hits hard, but he just goes straight line forward. He's a dog. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like trying to disrespect the champ. He's the champ of the best company. I'm not even there. But like style makes fight, and then my IQ of like stand up is like I would say right now confident that like I have like a high level IQ of a stand up and understanding like how I need to move against people like him, and then like how I can deal with those type of like fighters, because he dragged people into the chaos. He like to make like damage. He like to make like a crazy dog fight, and then like if you can stay away from that, it's like a easy way to beat him. Of course, he's gonna always treat you with the takedowns and the jiu-jitsu, but it's another. It's not a secret that he got out. And then I will tell you this: in my whole career, my whole fights in my life, I never been tired, and I don't think it's gonna be deception with him if I will have to fight him.
Yeah, I remember seeing a few of your fights even before we went to UNF. I think it was Fury, and there was other promotions that were I was able to find videos of you fighting, and I did realize really quick. I was like, you weaponize pace a lot. These guys, they start really strong, and then by about the second or the third, I start seeing them breathing heavy, and I'm like, the hell's he breathing heavy for? Johnny's doing most of the work already. And then
You
you
know,
see by the fourth and fifth is when especially your title fight, I saw that kid start to just disappear. Didn't look like he wanted to be there anymore.
and it's funny because like actually, I think about it. Pantoja and I we have one opponent in common, which is Adam Amtolini. Adam lost against Pantoja in the semifinals and the Ultimate Fighting, and then you can see Adam fight against Pantoja, and I think it was more competitive. Of course, it was different times, but every time you fight somebody is like at the phase that you guys are at that level. So I would say right now, like the fight Adam versus Pantoja was like a little bit more like a competitive day with me. When I fought Adam, I just did whatever I want. And then like literally like I beat him. MMA mat is so different, because for example, like Adam submitted my teammate Alex Perez back in the day in the first round, and then I beat Adam, and then Alex fought ready for the UFC title, and I'm not even in the UFC, so like, but with those little things for me in my head, it make me understand at what level I am. I'm like, okay, I can compete with these guys. Like I'm already doing it, and then like I'm on the right track. I just gotta keep doing what I'm doing, winning, showing everybody that I'm in a different level, keep dominating fights, trying to finish every single fight. Because every time I go to the fights, I try to finish. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Some of these, to be honest, I used to fight at 45, then 35, and now 25. And these little fuckers at 25, bro, they can take punches more than the 30 fighters and 40 fighters that I fought. I put people to sleep at 45. I put people to sleep at 35, and then at 25, no one goes to sleep. I'm like, these guys are like have a better chin or something happened with these little guys because they're like they can take a punch.
Yeah, I've noticed that 25 is like a very complete weight class. You can't slack anywhere. You got to be good everywhere. You can't be just a specialist at 25. And it's something that I think 25 doesn't get a lot of love for because of like, then they watch Pantoja fight and it's boring to watch Pantoja fight, but it is a smart technical fight. You're not watching some guy just try to go out there and filibuster the other guy. And like you said, maybe it's just harder to get a knockout at 125 than it is at the heavier weight classes because guys are more resilient. Also, they're closer to the ground, man. You got somebody with a lower center of gravity that they can take quite a few shots. But with 2025
Power.
being
We have
here,
weight class.
what happened, brother? Say that
We
one more
have
time.
power at this weight class though.
Yeah,
It's
there are
not.
some guys in the weight class that they hit people and you see them go sleep, and I'm like, whoa, what happened? Play the back, play the back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's definitely something that we see a lot of ripping and gripping. But 2025, we got a great year ahead of us, hopefully. Please God. But you got a title defense already in March. You've already started the year off on a real like strong right foot. or your strong foot is forward in this one. How many title defenses do you think we get to see you do for UNF this year before you take that next step?
I think this one will be the last one. I'm gonna make sure I let everybody know I'm just above these guys, and then I'm in a different level, and I'm just gonna make sure I put in the work during camp, and then like fight night I just show up and then like do my thing, and then having 4 belts in California is not that easy. California is like the hardest state to be like a champion. Like we have a hard competition around here, and then like holding four belts like is not that easy. So I hope after this one like we get the chance to go and put on the show and the big show.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that this year too. I'm hoping that's the case. We'll see how this goes for us. But congratulations, by the way, on the black belt. We were just talking about the Jordans you got with the APs.
Yeah, the Nike's SBs, SBs dunk like Albino Preto collab, and they're
Wow.
like the laces are like colors of the belts. So since I'm a black belt now, boom, I can wear the black belt.
With the aglets and everything to match, which is
Yeah,
hardcore. Congratulations on the black belt, man. And, a lot of people they get it, they're like, oh, it's just there to hold up your pants. But it is one of those things that it's a milestone that when you get to that point, it's almost like, oh, okay, so now it's undeniable. Now my ground game is no fucking joke. Now I'm the real deal. You can't be an illegit black belt nowadays. There are very few of them that are. So for you though, you got the black belt. Congrats, brother. And
thank you,
then
man.
now I've seen you compete more in jiu-jitsu tournaments. What roles do the jiu-jitsu tournaments play in sharpening your MMA game?
Just like jiu-jitsu tournaments is always good for me, like to go compete, test myself. I'm like a really competitor guy. Like I say, if I don't have a fight, I'm always trying to learn new things and then like improve myself, and then like of course like if we have time, then I'm always super down to jump into the jiu-jitsu tournaments and test myself against people that they just do jiu-jitsu, because it's different do MMA and then just do jiu-jitsu. So I'm always able to compete between fights, and then like thank God I'm always doing really good. And then it's just like, bro, this shit was harder than going to school, like fucking like took me forever to get my belt, and then like now it's like more pressure, like I get the belt and I need to like learn more because I feel like for me like I really need to back it up that I have that belt with me. Like you say, I have a black belt, so I can't be just a black belt and then get my ass whooped like by everybody. I need to like back it up. So I put that little extra pressure on me that like I need to like train more, learn more stuff, and more because I teach classes too. And I have to show my students that like everything I show in class is not fake news. They can test it out, and then like like whatever we show is something that we've been applied, and then going to compete is gonna show them that like the things we learn like we can actually use it in a competition, and then like it's good to see to put an example for your students too, that like you have to be brave and then take those risks about competition. Doesn't matter the result, like you're always gonna get better in jiu-jitsu. You're always gonna get better. So it's pretty cool for me.
Yeah, you said you were coaching, and a little bit after this pod, you got to be coaching an event, which is awesome, by the way. When you're coaching, have you seen the ecological approach? There's this whole debate in the jiu-jitsu world if the conventional jiu-jitsu training or the ecological approach are better, with Greg Souders really being at the helm of that. Have you been seeing that debate lately in the jiu-jitsu community?
Not really. Like to be honest, like it's like I'm so competitive, and then like if we're doing jiu-jitsu, I try to like study as much I can, and then follow that like the rule sets, and then follow like all the little details and techniques about what we're doing. So like right now I'm gonna go coach some jiu-jitsu with Gi, and then like I try to put attention at everything. I try to like get like the information about my students opponents because they put the brackets the day before or like during the week. So then I try to look at some footage, and then like I really like to study a lot of stuff about the game. So I feel like I go with the flow of the evolution of the sport, and I don't feel like I see any difference because like I said, the evolution of the sport is so consistent, and I try to keep it up always. I don't feel for me any change really.
Okay, that's dope, and I like that you have that approach instead. But who would you say throughout your career has been your biggest support? Because I remember we talked last time, and you said that mom was even in the corner of your earlier fights. Is that still the case? Is mom still the number one supporter, or do you think you have someone else in the system?
No, For sure, mom is the best and biggest support. Like she's always on point. Like it's funny because like I said during my career, and then I've been doing this for more than my half of my life. Every time I have a fight now, she's one of the first persons that I call and say, "Hey, we have a fight," and she's like, "Okay, send me the name and send me the films." And she wants to watch the guy. She gets all serious about it, and she's like, "Okay, he looks good. He does this good. He does this. I think you gotta do this." She always give me the point. After the fights, it's the same thing. Like she always talk to me after the fights and then let me know what she thinks, and she always tell me the mistakes I do, and then like the things that I can do better, and so stuff like that. And then so she supports my career always, and then not even my career, my whole life, and then that's kind of hard, like some people doesn't get it, some people doesn't understand this life is hard. It's really hard, man. We have a hard life that we choose, but we're cool with, because like I choose this life and I'm happy with. But like sometimes the family doesn't get it, and then for me, I'm just blessed to have a family and my mom that like she understands my dream, she support my dream, and then like she's always with me. Like I see some other people that like their families doesn't support their dreams. That they don't want them to be a fighters. They want them to go to school. They want them to do other stuff. Like they get mad, like they trying to like do whatever they can to like make the people miss practices or some stuff like that. And then for me it's the opposite. My mom gets mad if I don't go to practice. My mom's like, make sure like you can go to all the practices. Like if you need anything, like let me know, and then I will try to help you so you can like do your camp at the base or like stuff like that. So it's really good to have her in my life.
God bless mom. Mom is awesome, brother. What would you say, because you've got a good amount of experience in the sport, what would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned after turning pro?
Man, I turned pro when I was 17. I would say the biggest lesson I learned from myself, it was it's never gonna be a easy opponent, and it's never gonna be like you can't underestimate nobody. Because for me, when I turned 17 years old and I went pro, I made my pro debut at 17 against a guy that was 36, and I was still a kid. And then I didn't have like the grown body, like a grown man body, the grown man strength. And I was getting my ass whooped until he take me down, and I got the armbar belly down, and then I finished the fight in the second round. And then I always have people looking me down, and like during my career at the beginning, because like I said, I was fighting professional 18, 19, and I was fighting people who was like 30, 35, 20 something, and then I was always like the kid that was fighting professional. And then like I would say like until like recently, like everybody was looking me down, and then like they underestimate me and they pay for it. So now that I'm on the opposite side, I don't underestimate nobody. I don't take lightly nobody. I learned that, and then with myself, and then now I don't make those mistakes. The mistakes that people was doing with me, I'm not gonna do it, because I already know how it's to be that kid hungry, that kid that like just has like everything like to go for. And then like now I'm the old man, I'm the wolf, like the just gonna be like watching them, and then like I feel sorry, but I'm just gonna break the dreams, when they face me, because like fuck it, man, like it's like it's times and places for everything, and right now is my time. So when a young kid comes to me and then they have to fight me, I'm like, okay, brother, I'm just gonna let you know your time will come. You have future because you're facing me. Like just the reason that you're fighting against me is that you have future, because you're not fighting a simple guy. You're fighting me, and I know who I am. And I'm the champ. So like my time is right now. Your time will come, and I would bet you this: if you're smart enough and I will beat you, you're gonna learn a lot from this. And after this, you're gonna go to different places, and your career can take over. But right now it's my time. So I take my now I'm smart enough to take advantage of my experience, and then like beat these kids, these hungry kids. They come to me, and then they try to like take what it's mine.
Oh shit! All right, how did you go into crushing their dreams so smoothly? But I respect that, brother. As far as the interactions, the things that fans really go through, what has been the most memorable fan interaction? Like when you talk to a fan or you see them for the first time or something to that effect, which one do you remember the most, and what happened in that interaction?
interaction with like I don't know, man. Like it's funny because like even if I'm a local fighter, like right now, like I guess I've been gaining some popularity, and then like sometimes I go to places where like people know me and know who I am, and then like come to me and then talk to me, and they're like, "Oh, you are the one to fight, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Oh man, I saw you fight and something like this," and I'm like, oh, "Okay, cool. You know, can get we can get a picture." "Oh, sure." Like I would say one of for me one of the coolest moments. I work sometimes with my sponsor at Represent, and then like he sponsored big names, and then like we do signups with like for people with Nate Diaz, Brandon Moreno, and stuff like that. And then I remember one time Nate Diaz came to do a sign up with Brandon Moreno, and it was Nate Diaz, Jake Shields, Brandon Moreno, and then it was like hundreds of people, in line to get a picture with them and get some item signed for them. And then I'm always in charge of the line, so I'm always just like, okay, make sure you guys get ready when it's your turn, get your phone ready for the picture, one signature, and that's it. Get the fuck out and let's move on. And then it's funny because I'm at this event, like, like working for my sponsor, and then like watching like these super big ass names, like Nate, Jake Shields, Brandon Moreno, and all those guys. And then one time it was two guys. They came to me and said, "Hey, Gianni, can I get a signature from you on my T-shirt? And then can I get a picture with you?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, "Okay, cool." Like I'm like, I guess that's how it's gonna start. Like we started somewhere, and then like I never expect like one of the people that comes to see these big ass names, they recognize me or they knew me. It's like, "Oh yeah, I've been following your career for the last 4 years," and stuff like that. So it was really cool for me.
That's sick, man. See, those are the moments that are like in between those moments, and you're like, oh shit, I did not see that coming, and that's good because it speaks volumes to your work. But real quick, I wanted to know when you pick out walkout music, because you pick out some strong ass walkout music. How do you pick the walkout song? Like, what is your process? Because I've had some people ask me like, how do they pick out the song they're gonna come out to at a fight? Do you pick
I
the same category? Is it the same artist, the vibe from your home? Like, how do you go through that process?
To be honest, I always walk out with like the same song. I just been changing the song a couple times, but I didn't feel like it was right. I always come out with the Jefe de Jefes de Los Tigres del Norte, and then like that's a strong ass song about it's the boss of the bosses, and then it's talking about too like I say about like the little chickens, they're trying to take the place of the rooster, and the rooster is not gonna let them, and it's just gonna show them why he's the boss of the bosses. But the main reason I picked that song is because every time I listen to that song, it reminds me of my whole family in Mexico. And when I was back home in Mexico, my whole family was always going to see my fights, like all my cousins, my mom, my sister, uncles, stuff like that. And now that I'm here in the US, nobody can come. My family, we don't have visa. It was only me. So like, so when this walkout song come out, like I know my family is with me. So that's why I like that song.
That's sick, brother. You keep the family even in the fight, man. That's fucking beautiful. Do you think in the future you'd ever like to go back and do a big show in Mexico to have the family there?
For sure. Like I know, for example, probably not March, but I know September is gonna be UFC Noche UFC in Guadalajara. That's what I heard. And then like like if we can be in that car by then, like I will be more than happy. So then I will for sure. I will tell you this from Mexico City for sure. At least we're gonna fill it up one big bus from all my family, and then we're gonna go to Guadalajara to see the fight. If not, we're gonna take like two buses for sure. Because that's how I was when I was there. Every time I was fighting up there, we always rent a bus. Because I always have like 80 people going to watch me, 50 people from my house. So that we always rent a bus. And it was like a party bus. We rent a bus. My cousins were like getting hammered before the fight. As soon as they land to the show, the fight doesn't even start. My cousins were already like on the mood, like drinking and all that stuff because they were like going on the bus and then partying, getting like ready for the show. So for sure, when I go back home and then I fight one more time in Mexico or more than one time, my whole family is gonna be there.
Damn, the cousins are pre gaming in the party bus and show up to the event lit. That's what's up. That's how you know you really
Oh,
there for the you there
oh,
for the family when you get like that. You be like, "Ah, what's going on? Let's go!" And they're yelling at the other side.
you already know. Like Mexicans, we're down to scrap, we're down to party.
Yeah, man, you got a rich history. Last question, Johnny, before I let you go, because I know you got to have an event soon. Let's say that you weren't into this MMA game. Let's say that fighting was something that you were like it's good, but I don't want to continue to do it. If you could do anything else in the world aside from the fight game, what would you have done? Because you're a big sneakerhead, so I'd be surprised if you didn't open like a store for that because you love your sneakers.
I'm a hustler, and then but I will tell you this: I love to eat though, and then I would love to have a restaurant and stuff like that. I love to eat. I When I have time, I love to cook. I want to learn more about cooking, and then I would love to have a restaurant just to fucking eat whatever I want every single day, and then like see the happiness of people. Like I'm a showman. I'm a pleasure man. So when I fought, for me, I fight for the people. When I see people happy with my show, I'm happy. Having a restaurant will be the same. When I will go have a restaurant and I see people eating my food and being happy while they're eating, I will be like, okay, we're doing good. I'm in the right spot.
That's fucking beautiful, man. At least you had a good answer. I was expecting it to be like a sneaker store or something like that because you really like the fly gear and the kicks. But to hear in the restaurant is the best. I think
Like
food makes the people full and full of life.
I always think about it, but it's kind of hard, man. Like I like the sneakers for myself, but the food, when I taste something really good, I'm like, man. You sometimes I go to eat at places, and then you eating, and then like some places, like you can see people walking through, and
Mhm.
you can see sometimes some people, they look like they're having a bad moment. I'm like, man, I wish this guy can taste this shit and would have changed his fucking sad face. It's one.
That makes sense.
When you taste something really good, the first thing I do is I told my homies, hey bro, like I went to this place, you gotta try it, bro. Trust me, I know how to eat. You can go there and then you're gonna taste it and you're not gonna regret. So that's the first thing I like to do when I eat something good. I like to recommend to people. So having a restaurant will be the same.
Yeah, but
Bring
the
some,
same here. It's that vibe. It's that energy. The way the food changes people, and makes them happy, makes them smile, makes them feel like okay, the day sucked, but the food is good. So I
yeah.
feel you. All right, Gianni, let me let you go with that. Ladies and gentlemen, Gianni Kriptonita Vazquez, the world champion, UNF flyweight champion, is in the goddamn room with us. He has a fight on March 8th. He will be defending the title. We're hoping that this is the last title defense before the UFC. We're hoping to get him to see again. He can get to Noche UFC in Guadalajara, Mexico, which would be a huge card. Gianni, tell the people what else is coming next, what other projects and collabs you're working on, and where they can reach you.
I would say first, thank you, my brother, for always giving me this space. It's always a pleasure for me to having these talks with you. This space is what the fighters we need, and then what make us who we are. Like I said, this is a business, and without you guys, we wouldn't be doing anything. So thank you for that. And whoever wants to know more about my journey, they can look up to me like Gianni Vasquez MMA on Instagram, Facebook, and then March 8th, stay tuned. I'm gonna put on the show for you guys. I'm gonna keep that bell under my belly. It's gonna be and still at the end of the night, and then if you guys want to support, like you can go watch it, you can go buy the pay-per-view, or even right now, like just today I drop up some fight t-shirt, which is a really cool t-shirt. It's gonna be made by my sponsor Represent. You can go check it out, and then send me a DM or something if you guys are interested, and get some cool fight t-shirts.
Sick, brother, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, the link to his Instagram as well as the new t-shirts and the pay-per-view link for UNF will be in the description of the video. Again, Gianni, thank you so much for your time, brother. Everyone, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your curiosity. Continue to support the channel as well as the fighters. You can like, comment, subscribe. If you like to, please comment your favorite part of the episode or, anything you wanted to say to Gianni as he's there, what you think about the fight with him and Edgar Chairez, the rematch that could happen in the UFC, and many more things that you can talk about. Thank you again for your time. Thank you for your curiosity. God bless you and keep your peace.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Amen.